But it's time for us to get to the action now. Two clubs with quite a history in the Cup, Shelbourne and Shamrock Rovers. Ironically, for teams that have their roots in the south side, they currently share a stadium north of the Liffey at Talca Park. Well, that's where we go now to see how things went with commentator George Hamilton.
Shamrock Rovers captain Paul Whelan returns to the team after missing the last 3 games through suspension. Mark Kenny has been influential for them, playing from a position on the right side of midfield. He scored the opening goal last week for the penalty spot, and it was his corner that set up the second for Shamrock Rovers for Jason Sherlock. Now, this is the Shamrock Rovers 11. They've had a good run at the moment. 7 league games undefeated. Their only recent reverse being the loss in the second leg of the League Cup final to Cork City in their last match of 1998. And that's the way they line up, with Colwell and Purdy anchoring the midfield behind Sherlock and Cousins, the 2 danger men up front. Paul Doolan has been on his travels through the National League this season. He began with Derry City, had a spell with Dundalk, and now he's back with Shelbourne and is in their midfield alongside Richie Baker, younger brother of Desi. Richie will be on his way to Middlesbrough this week for a trial. This is Shelbourne's 3rd match in 1999, and it's been the same starting 11 in each of them. Eamon Heary and Declan Gagan, the fullbacks. McCarthy and Scully, the captain, at the heart of the defence. And behind the 2 front men of Sheridan and Stephen Gagan, that midfield with the Baker brothers. One of 2 sets of brothers filling the flank positions. Taking charge of this match with a smile, John McDermott, Dublin referee. It'll just go to 90 minutes today if necessary. There'll be a replay with extra time on Monday. Next week. So it's the Cup Kings of all time, 24 times the Cup winners, Shamrock Rovers, against Shelbourne, who are very much the Cup team of the 90s. And of course, although it's not only Shamrock Rovers' home fixture, both sides who share this ground can feel very much at home. Doolan early in and releasing Richie Baker. It's on for Sheridan. It's Palmer who's scampering back and got there first at the expense of a throw. Desi Baker. Oh, in went Fenlon. They failed to pick up the run of Fenlon. Now Cousins for Rovers, and it's out of Scully. Well, maybe it was only half a chance. Desi Baker spotted the run from Fenlon, but just couldn't get there ahead of Matt Britton. Kenny. Scully chased by Cousins, forced ahead clear, and it's a throw. Corner is the outcome. And here's Kenny's corner. Takes the save. Attack spearheaded by Desi Baker, looking for his brother Richie in the middle, but it'll come to Tony Sheridan. Stephen Gagan in the middle. Back for Fenlon, didn't quite get hold of it the way they wished, and that's a goal kick. And nearest to is Dermot Keeley, the Shelbourne manager. It's Cousins. Tracy. Nicely played. Tony Cousins once more, but it was a long way out to try that. Good build up by Shamrock Rovers, even if the finish lacked the penetration. Doolan, Palmer there ahead of Sheridan, then Tracy. Dunn. Cut out by Palmer. Dunn holding off Sheridan. Baker. And that's for Stephen Gagan. Through the middle goes Richie Baker. Gagan taking on Whelan. Still Gagan. And now Sheridan. Well, a good breakout by Shelbourne. Tony Sheridan's was the shot at the end of it. Stephen Gagan twisting Paul Whelan first one way, then the other. Whelan lost his footing to create the opening, and Sheridan was not very far away. Gagan did very well here. Really bamboozled Paul Whelan. He might have had a better opportunity to score himself. Won by Scully. Cleared by Baker. lost his footing, cleared by McCarthy. Stephen Gagan, and referee felt he handled that. And Whelan and Palmer up for this free kick to be taken by Mark Kenny. And in the end, all the way through to Goff. Heary on for Sheridan. It's gone straight to Sheridan, and now Stephen Gagan, slack defending by Rovers. Still Gagan, past Palmer, still Gagan. Back it goes to Sheridan. Still Sheridan now for Heary. Well closed down by Palmer. Heary shot off Sheridan. Gagan. The flag stayed down. Stephen Gagan gets the goal. Red-band defending by Shamrock Rovers. And despite the fact that they managed to close down in the first instance, they put themselves under pressure, and Stephen Gagan makes them pay. This was Gagan, and they managed to get bodies in the way, but eventually so intent were they to push out and close down that when it came off Sheridan to Gagan, and he was clearly onside, he finished superbly. Here it was much too close under his feet to have a shot on that occasion. He tried to make the room, it deflected off Sheridan, and there was Stephen Gagan to bury it past O'Dowd. Tommy Dunn once more. Heary. It's come free to Tracy. And now Sherlock, cut out by Scully. Scully did well. Doolan came back to assist. Another corner is the outcome. Tracy at the near post. Palmer going in. Stopped by Doolan. A well-worked, well-rehearsed move. Near post flick on, but the header from Palmer was less decisive than it might have been. Won by McCarthy, but straight at Purdy. And on then for Kenny. Cousins. Sherlock. Come to Cousins again. Better power in the shot. Well, Palmer's was the header from the corner that might have been better for Shamrock Rovers. Nice flick on by Tracy. Palmer got the freedom to head it, but it got stuck under the foot of Paul Doolan. Tony Cousins then finding himself with a shooting opportunity, but from rather a long way out. He got the power in it, broke free for that challenge to Scully and Sherlock, but the direction was not what he wanted. Purdy. Then for Gagan again. Now Britton. Cousins. Put out by Gagan. And the throw reaches Colwell. Britton with the cross. Cleared by Scully. Well, the goalkeeper came, but Scully felt the safer course of action was to intervene himself immediately. Good cross. Scully wasn't going to take any chances. Kenny took it. Another opportunity for Shamrock Rovers to try and profit from a dead ball situation. It's Kenny to come and thump it. And it's off the post from Sherlock. So close. The deflection had the goalkeeper wrong-footed, but the post saved Shelbourne. Mark Kenny with a thundering free kick. Deflected by Sherlock and off the post. Thumped the free kick with venom. Sherlock clipped it and it hit the post. Here's Purdy. Sheridan. Cousins, Tracy, and off to Sherlock, who's held off McCarthy. Good tackle by Healy, prevented the corner. And a foul surely by Baker. Tommy Dunn brought down. A free kick for Shamrock Rovers. Baker's attempted tackle on Dunn, floated in too close to Goff, but he's lost it. Wouldn't come for Tracy, cleared away by Healy. He's made a couple of important tackles, Eamon Healy. Mark Kenny curled this one in. The goalkeeper got it wrong. It just wouldn't come for Tracy because Healy was there. Tracy. Now Matt Britton. Looking for Sherlock, but Declan Gagan got there first, and the ball is out. Oh well, and that's the last kick of the first half. A half in which it's advantage Shelbourne. Stephen Gagan missed the early part of the season unfit, but now back to his scoring best and finishing off the Shelbourne attack that has put them in front, despite the fact that from Mark Kenny's free kick, Jason Sherlock deflected the ball onto the post. This was the goal. When it came free to Stephen Gagan, after good work on the edge of the box, Gagan was always likely to score from that position. Half-time at Talca Park, Shamrock Rovers 0, Shelbourne 1. Well, I suppose when you have two teams in your constituency and they both share the same ground, the place to be on a Sunday afternoon is when they come head-to-head in the Cup. And Taoiseach Ferdy Ahern, a very keen follower of the National League game. Shamrock Rovers have made a change at the half-time interval. Jason Sherlock injured in that clash with Shelbourne goalkeeper Alan Goff at the end of the first half, so he's off, and Brendan Markey is on in his place. Came off the head of Fenlon, but now it's Cousins. Colwell, Tommy Dunn, on for Tracy. Dunn forward towards Markey, held off by Scully. And kept in play by Healy. Gagan. And that's found its way towards Sheridan. Britton got there first. Doolan, Fenlon, and Declan Gagan. Doolan again. Slid through here for Stephen Gagan. Desi Baker. Declan Gagan's shot, too high. Baker again. Come to Doolan. Blocked by Purdy. And once more a corner to Shelbourne. Desi Baker once more. And again, it's the head of Tracy to get it away. Back again by Fenlon. Tracy again. Fenlon once more. And it's come to Scully. Oh, yes! Well, what a finish by the centre half and captain. Superbly struck volley. Buried beyond Tony O'Dowd. And Shelbourne really in the driving seat now. Baker took the corner. Fenlon and Tracy were both involved twice, and eventually it broke free and Scully made no mistake. The Shamrock Rovers defence torn asunder, and Terry Palmer, in attempted to clear, only set it up for Scully. And Pat Scully, who got into double figures with the goals last season, gets his first of this campaign. And a very disconsolate Mick Byrne, whose team lost third place in the league last week rather, and now looking at his season unravelling completely as Shamrock Rovers face a monumental struggle to get back into this tie. And there's another one. Pat Scully does it again. 2 goals in a minute. Well, it never rains but it pours, might be the Rovers' view. For Shelbourne, it's unalloyed delight. And this time, rather more orthodox. Headed home. The captain made his way in and met it firmly with his forehead, and it's 3. Markey. Now here's Fenlon. On for Desi Baker. High strike. Well, if you discount their recent reverse at St. Patrick's Athletic in our last live match, which they were unfortunate enough to lose, Shelbourne have been on the up, and that improvement in form confirmed by their performance this afternoon. Stephen Gagan in ahead of Tommy Dunn, and now Desi Baker. Headed clear by Dunn. It's come to Doolan. Too high, but it's broken free for Baker. Straight at O'Dowd. Well, it was aimed at Fennell. He couldn't get there, but the defensive header came straight to Baker. He picked the spot, though, well guarded by O'Dowd. Sheridan. That's Richie Baker, great run. There's no one there for him, but from Dunn's defensive header, it's come to Desi Baker. Tried to chip the keeper, and off the top of the bar. Superb effort from Desi Baker. It's a great run by his brother Richie to get into the corner. There was no one in the middle, but even so, under no pressure, Tommy Dunn set it up for Richie Baker. And with the keeper off his line, he went for the far corner and wasn't very far away. Marslow. Scully putting it out. Baker. Sheridan in space. Stephen Gagan ahead of him, but in an offside position. It's still Sheridan. Tried to be too delicate, and O'Dowd was able to knock it clear. Did the sensible thing because Stephen Gagan was offside. Doolan with a crunching tackle. The ball is out of play. Well, Sheridan was terrific here, skipping past Palmer, ignoring the offside Gagan, but he tried to be too delicate. Well, a bad piece of defending by Paul Whelan, and it's 3 against 2 for Shelbourne. Whelan committed himself, Gagan rolling it in, and Tommy Dunn put it over the bar. But that was very, very poor from Shamrock Rovers. Whelan committing himself on the halfway line, leaving Shelbourne with a numerical advantage. Stephen Gagan had 2 in the middle here, but he managed to pick out the Shamrock Rovers defender. Fenlon will take the corner. The ominous figure of Pat Scully is up there. Can he make it a hat-trick? Not with a corner like that, he won't. Done to clear. Doolan intercepting, but putting it out. Cousins' industry has brought the corner. Morris Rowe to take. Goff there with a fist. It's come out to Jason Colwell. And a rare enough chance for Shamrock Rovers. Punch clear by Alan Goff, and the chairman's son, Jason Colwell, unable to keep it on the goal. For his father Joe, it must be a frustrating afternoon too. The knowledge that Shamrock Rovers now seem certain to be on their way out of this season's FAI Cup. Cousins. Britton. Chased by Markey. Challenge from Declan Gagan. Throw to Rovers. Scully the winner, but it's come to Dunn. Goal kick. Struck it well. Couldn't keep it down well enough though. Cross flung in. Scully got up there to win the defensive header, but it broke to Tommy Dunn, and the snapshot, the half volley, well, it was always rising away. It's Whelan. Dunn, nice dummy. Take him away from Desi Baker. A decent looking cross, controlled by Cousins, and here's Colwell. Just wide. Well, that was the best attack that Shamrock Rovers have managed for quite a while, beginning with the left back Tommy Dunn, a good little dummy to rid himself of the presence of Desi Baker. Then the cross, chest control, excellent by Tony Cousins. Colwell's shot just spun wide of the post. Woods. Doolan, nicely played through for Stephen Gagan. Benlin, well saved. Purdy. Tackled by Doolan. Free kick. At this stage, it's really only about a consolation for Shamrock Rovers. The writing has been on the wall since half-time. Now in capital letters, Rovers going out. Morris Rowe. And that's what they're reduced to, firing in from long range to no great effect. Foul by Doolan. Dunn. Woods. Markey and Colwell. Cousins. Trying to involve Britton. Billy Woods. A shot from Woods. Oh, the post again, and over the bar by Richie Purdy. Well, Billy Woods, unfortunate. A shot from far out. And for the second time in the match, it's an upright that saves Shelbourne. And that is the last of the contest. And it's an historic afternoon. Pat Scully getting his first goals of the season. Shelbourne, the cup team of the 90s, go marching on. But what that defeat means, that Shamrock Rovers, the undisputed cup kings of Irish football, who've won it a record 24 times, and who've won it in every single decade since its inception, will not now win the FAI Cup in the 90s. Rovers out Shelbourne march on. Final score, Shamrock Rovers 0, Shelbourne 3. Well, Pat, 12 goals last season, but you saved the best until now. You hadn't scored before that left foot volley.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've been getting a bit of stick in the dressing room that I haven't scored this season, unfortunately. As I say, I got 12 last year, but I thought that was the best one I'll ever score in my life, I think.
You're going to enjoy looking back at that, I'd say.
I am. I'm sure my ma's at home now. We're getting ready with the video to tape it, so I'm looking forward to seeing it, yeah.
Now, it was a corner kick. The ball went in and out, and then suddenly there you were.
Yeah, it seemed to be a bit of a bobble. I just bobbled up into the air, and I took a chance and struck with my left foot, which isn't my best foot anyway, and it just flew into the top corner. It was probably the best goal I'll ever score, I'm sure.
Well then, within a minute, you didn't give us much time to get ready for the next one, which was rather more orthodox for a centre-half.
Yeah, that's more like me. Get it in the box and I'll head it. Yeah, it was good. I mean, obviously the second goal kind of killed the game, but then getting the third one so quickly, I think it kind of knocked Rovers out of step then, and you could just see out the game then. It was important that we went through.
Yes, because you're off the pace in the league, and it does now look really, honestly, as if it's Cork or Pats. So Shelbourne, to get a trophy this season, really have to go for this.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't start very well in the league, and we've left ourselves an awful lot to do. So I just say the league's probably well beyond us, but I just say we're usually quite good in the FA Cup. So hopefully this year it'll be another year for us.
It's funny, isn't it? Shamrock Rovers, 24 times the cup winners. They'd won it in every single decade, but they won't win it in the 90s. That's the Shelbourne's decade.
Well, we mentioned that in the dressing room before the game, so that was a good spore on for us. So we're delighted we're through, and we're kind of delighted that we broke that little sequence.
And despite everything about Shelbourne, you've only the one medal, you were saying.
Yeah, well, the first year I came home, we won the FAI Cup, and I was looking forward after last year coming so close to the three things. We want to do a lot better this year, but we're still in the FA Cup, and hopefully win it this year, then we can go on to better things next year.